What's up, adventurers? Get your spell books and your battle axes ready, because today we're going to talk about feats, short for features. You know, the things that are supposed to be in AAA games when the devs launch, but seldom do. Anyways, actually feats are those magical little upgrades that turn your D&D character from pretty cool to an absolute legend. We're diving into the top feats from the 2024 Players Handbook that you need to be using in your campaigns. Look, I get it. There are so many feats to choose from that they could fill a starving ogre's tummy. And you don't want to spend hours poring over the list just to find out you could have picked something way better. So my players and I, we've done the work for you. Whether you're a fighter, a rogue, a spellcaster, or the bard that keeps the party alive, there's something here for everybody. So let's roll initiative and get into the best feats you should be using. The 2024 Players Handbook breaks feats down into several categories: Origin Feats, General Feats, Fighting Styles, and Epic Boons. Since you take feats from each category as independent choices, we'll be covering each category and the best feats contained within. Feel free to use the timestamps on the video to skip to the section you'd like to know about most. So let's start out with Origin Feats. Origin Feats are tied to your character's background, and they give you a little extra flavor while also offering some serious benefits. Think of them like the starting package that helps define who you are, and we're talking about the ones that make a huge difference in the long run. First up, Alert. Alert is number 1 on our list, and you might be tempted to overlook this feat. Now, Alert might seem like it's just about going first in combat, but this feat is much more than that. This feat is a game changer for anybody who values quick thinking and tactical flexibility. Here's how it works. You add your proficiency bonus to your initiative rolls, meaning you're more likely to act early in combat. But the real magic with this feat comes with the initiative swap feature. Right after rolling, you can swap your initiative with a willing ally. This gives your team a huge strategic advantage by allowing your heavy hitters or spellcasters to act exactly when they're needed most. Picture this: your party's up against a deadly ambush. You're the highest roller, but the enemy wins initiative against everybody else. But with Alert, you can instantly swap places with your rogue, letting them dash into cover before the enemy strikes, or with your wizard to cast an essential defensive spell, or fireball, before the chaos begins. This kind of tactical control can shift the entire momentum of a fight. You're not just going first, you're ensuring the right person acts first. Rogues and monks can make great use of the quick turn advantage, while wizards and sorcerers can use it to ensure crucial spells land at the right moments. Even barbarians and fighters can benefit by positioning themselves to control the battlefield early or swapping turns to protect squishier allies. The flexibility Alert offers means that any class can make this feat shine. Next up on our list is Musician. Alright, bards, this one's for you, but also anybody who likes to bring a little flair to their role in the party. Musician gives you proficiency with 3 musical instruments, but more importantly, it lets you play a heroic song after a short or long rest that gives you heroic inspiration to your allies. You could, of course, reflavor this as like a speech or something. Nobody's going to tell you that you must sing and dance. The number of people you can inspire equals your proficiency bonus, which means you're handing out some sweet buffs every time the party takes a breather. Think about it. You finish a tough battle. The party is sitting around licking their wounds, and you pull out your lute or your panpipes or that speech you've written. Everyone's ready to head onto the next encounter with a boost to their next big roll. It's like you're casting a lesser version of bardic inspiration, I guess, without using any resources. And it's all tied to your rests. It is best for, obviously, bards. They get the most out of it with the thematic addition to their instrument proficiencies. But here's the twist. Paladins or even sorcerers can pick this up to act as the party's motivational speaker. You don't need to be a bard to play an encouraging song or, I guess, read an encouraging speech, and it's incredibly useful when about to head into tough encounters. And warlocks can benefit from this as well, as it gives the party even more compelling reasons to let your warlock rest, which they're going to want to do anyways to regain their spell slots. And last but not least on our Origin feats, let's take a look at Lucky, because let's be honest, who doesn't like being a little lucky every once in a while? Here's the deal. Lucky gives you luck points equal to your proficiency bonus, and you can spend those points to either give yourself advantage on a d20 roll or impose disadvantage on an attack made against you. Sounds simple enough, right? But this is like having a handful of do-overs in your back pocket. Whenever the dice just don't want to cooperate with you. Imagine you're a rogue sneaking past a group of guards and you roll a 1 on your stealth check. Normally you'd be caught, but with luck, you can burn a luck point, reroll that disaster, and fingers crossed, turn it into a success. It is not a guarantee, but it can give you an edge. If you really want to make a save or ability check or a hit, it can give help, but unfortunately it doesn't work on enemy saving throws, so it can help you land a hit, but not a powerful spell effect, so keep that in mind. Everyone can benefit from this feat, regardless of the class you want to play, seriously, but especially rogues who depend on success for stealth and sneak attacks, spellcasters who need to land critical saving throws or concentration checks, or fighters who want to avoid those incoming blows. Whether you're attacking, defending, or avoiding bad outcomes, Lucky's got you covered. One of my players even said that every well-rounded party should have one person with the musician feat and one person with the alert feat. They're just too good to pass up, and you leave a lot on the table if those two feats aren't in your build. Next up in the initiative order are general feats, the ones anybody can take to seriously upgrade their game. Usually you take your first one at level 4, fighters of course gaining more of them than any other class. These feats are where the magic happens, so to say, where you go from solid builds to, my DM hates me, but real talk, your DM doesn't hate anybody. He loves you all equally. Now roll for initiative, the big bad's out. One thing to note, in the 2014 version of the game, the ability score increase was technically not a feat. You could take an ASI or take a feat. In the 2024 version of the game, Wizards of the Coast simplified it a little bit. Now ability scores are one of the feats that you can take. I won't list ability score increases here in this section because I think ASIs are special in that they're always a clear choice and can be taken more than once. When in doubt, take an ASI. But while we're talking about taking ability scores, each of these general feats bumps up one of your ability scores by 1 point to a maximum of 20. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's dive in. Number 1, Warcaster. If you're running any kind of caster that likes to get into the thick of things, Warcaster is practically mandatory because it does 3 very important things. First, it gives you advantage on concentration checks, which mean your crucial spells like Bless, Hold Person, or Spirit Guardians aren't going to drop just because a goblin smacked you in the face with his hand a couple of times. Second, it lets you cast spells as opportunity attacks, and this is the magical part. So instead of swinging a staff, you can blast someone with a spell when they try to leave your reach. And third, it lets you perform somatic components with weapons or shields in your hands. Let me break it down a little bit. Picture your paladin or cleric, and they're on the front lines, shield in one hand, sword in the other. Spirit Guardians as the enemy closes in. With Warcaster, you're not just holding the spell, you're keeping it going while casting Inflict Wounds as a reaction when the orc tries to flee. You're basically turning your concentration spells into a fortress of protection while still being able to fight. Warcaster has a neat trick. One of my players helped me to point this out. The wording on opportunity attack no longer says hostile creature, so you can opportunity attack your allies when they walk away. Anyone can do this with a shove attack to push their friend an extra 5 feet forward, but if you have Warcaster, you could cast a buff spell on your friend as they rushed past you. This option for spells that you could do this with are very limited, so it's not really worth getting the feat just for this trick, but it's something interesting to keep in mind if you happen to be picking this feat up anyways. It's clearly a godsend for clerics. See what I did there? Godsend? And paladins who want to stay in melee, but need their spells to stay active. Sorcerers and warlocks who dip into melee, looking at you, Hexblade, also benefit, especially if they're running concentration spells like Hex or Darkness while fighting on the front lines. Number 2, Great Weapon Master. Now, if you're playing a heavy hitter, Great Weapon Master is the feat that takes your damage output from good to absolutely terrifying. When you hit a creature with a weapon that has the heavy property as part of the attack action on your turn, you can cause the weapon to deal extra damage to the target. The extra damage equals your proficiency bonus, plus Whenever you crit or reduce an enemy to 0 HP, you can make another attack as a bonus action. That means more attacks and massive damage. I don't think there's much more to say about Great Weapon Master. It's simply just good. Imagine you're a barbarian charging into a group of enemies, you land a critical hit on the first swing with your great axe, you drop an enemy, and then, boom, bonus action for another attack. You're essentially getting rewarded for doing what you do best, hitting things really hard. And they simplified it in this edition. Instead of remembering to choose and take a -5 penalty attack, it just goes off every time without affecting your hit chance. I want to give an honorable mention to Polearm Master. A really great option, and I almost included it in this list. I'll pop it here so that you can take a look for yourself, but given the pure number of feats on this list, cuts had to be made somewhere. Something to note, heavy weapons have changed in 2024. You used to have disadvantage to use them if you were a small creature. Now you only have disadvantage if your strength ability score is less than 13. And for heavy ranged weapons, you only have disadvantage if your dexterity is less than 13. This feat also works with longbows and heavy crossbows as well. Number 3, Mage Slayer. Fed up with enemy spellcasters wrecking your plans, Mage Slayer has you covered. This feat not only helps you disrupt concentration, but it also lets you stay mentally fortified. When you damage a creature concentrating on a spell, they roll with disadvantage to maintain that concentration. On top of that, you get a boost to either strength or dexterity, giving you an edge in combat. Plus, with Guarded Mind, if a spell tries to mess with your head and you fail an intelligence, wisdom, or charisma saving throw, you can flip the script and succeed instead, though this powerful ability only recharges after a short or long rest. You're charging through the dungeon, and the big bad sorcerer puts your warlock in a force cage, and he can't get out. Now that force cage requires concentration, your fighter can quickly get your player with main character syndrome back in the fight. See what I did there, Warlocks? Yeah, Warlocks have It's especially ideal for melee rogues, letting you shut down casters' control spells and keeping the pressure on, all while slipping around the battlefield like a ghost. Next up on our list is Inspiring Leader. Are you playing as Captain America, or do you want to sprinkle a little bit of him into your build? Inspiring Leader is how you do it. After every short or long rest, you can give a rousing speech, song, performance, and hand out temporary hit points equal to your character level, plus your charisma or wisdom modifier. You choose either charisma or wisdom when you take the feat, and the HP scales off that. You can do this for up to 6 allies, and those temporary hit points are free bonus health that doesn't take up spell slots or resources. Spells like Aid are amazing for the same reason. Small hit point increases might seem okay, but every little bit of buffer between you and death saving rolls is another round you stay in the fight. And Aid actually stacks with this, since Aid doesn't grant temporary hit points, so go ham. Picture your party about to head into a dangerous dungeon, filled with traps and monsters. Before you go in, you give them a little pep talk, something like, "Alright team, we've got this. Remember, no one fights alone." Suddenly, everybody's walking in with a bonus HP buffer. It's like giving everybody a mind shield before the chaos starts. Sentinel's next up on our list. This feat turns you into a living, breathing wall of no you don't. Here's what it does. Whenever a creature within 5 feet of you takes the disengage action, you can still hit them with an opportunity attack. And if you hit someone with an opportunity attack, their speed drops to 0 for the rest of their turn. Oh, and if an enemy tries to attack someone else within 5 feet of you, you can hit them with a reaction. Basically, this feat turns you into your party's personal bodyguard. Imagine you're standing in front of your wizard buddy and an ogre tries to push past you to squish them. Nope. You hit them with Sentinel, their speed drops to 0, and they're stuck dealing with you instead. The best part is, when they try to disengage to turn away, you still get to smack them. This is super effective when used with reach weapons to give you a wide berth of stay away, or I'll slap you with the pointy end again. I've been holding this one back, but the best feat you can get in the entire game is the ability to head over to my Patreon page and subscribe. If you enjoy my content and want more of it, like ad-free episodes, early content, bonus videos, and lots of giveaways, you'll want to make sure that you head over there and pick up that all-important feat. And thank you to all my current supporters for all your support. Link in the video description below. I do want to mention that technically fighting styles are now feats, But for the most part, they're very situational to your build, and most of the builds in the game don't actually use them, so we're going to skip them. But if you want me to cover fighting styles in a separate video, please make sure to leave a comment below. Now let's get into the real high level stuff here. Epic Boon feats. These are when you hit level 19, and they're game-changing abilities that can make you feel like a demigod. Feats are for sure situational, and all of the epic boons are, well, epic. But I have my favorites, and hey, you made it this far in the video, so the monk didn't raise a quitter, and let's look at my top 3. Boon of Combat Prowess. If you hate missing attacks, and let's face it, who doesn't? Boon of Combat Prowess is for you. With this feat, you can turn a miss into a hit once per turn. That's right, every time you swing and miss, you can just say, no, I'm hitting you anyways. This is huge at high levels when every attack matters. Imagine you're a fighter going toe-to-toe with a dragon, and you roll a miss on what could have been a big hit. Normally, you'd be cursing your dice, but with this boon, you can just say, nah, that's a hit, and land a critical strike anyways. It is a great boon for fighters and barbarians who rely on consistent big damage. It is especially powerful for crit fishing builds, where turning a near miss into a hit can mean landing a devastating blow. Because of this, it's best to take it on your rogue because they only need to get one attack and they need it to hit. Let's face it, there is a huge power difference between marshals and casters at high levels, so this boon should help even the field. Boon of Speed is next up on our list. If you love mobility and want to zip around the battlefield like the Flash, Boon of Speed gives you a 30-foot bonus to your speed and lets you take the disengage action as a bonus action while ending the grappled condition. You're going to be a blur in combat. For a really dirty combo, pick up the spell Chardalon's Stride, which for a base movement character of 30 feet, and there are ways to increase it beyond that, but I'm easy mathing here, you'll now have an 80-foot movement and deal 1d6 fire damage at standard level to anyone within 5 feet of you. And this is as you pass by them. I'm not saying to do this, but if you upcast Chardalon's Stride to 9th level, you can do this for 110 feet in a single turn. That's kind of dirty. Finally, Boon of Fate. The Boon of Fate lets you add 2d4 to any d20 test once per short rest. This is God tier, which is, I guess, why you get it when you're level 19. God adjacent, right? It resets on a short rest, and that's what makes it especially powerful. And that 2d4 can really save you during tense rolls, especially at high-level campaigns. Epic boons are so cool, and I highly recommend joining a high-level campaign just to get access to them. And I learned a cool trick. Did you know that you can actually get more than one epic boon? If you stack your multi-classing right, you can get an epic boon at level 19 and at level 20. But that's it, adventurers. That's the rundown on the top feats you need to be using from the 2024 Players Handbook. Let me know your favorite feat in the comments below. Whether you're dishing out damage, protecting your party, or buffing your allies, these feats will help you dominate your campaigns. And if you want to keep the discussion going, we would love it if you joined our Discord community, where you'll find a safe space to discuss all things related to D&D and the occasional food photo. Until next time, keep rolling those dice, and may your quests be epic. Someone please pass me the Dayquil.